How's everybody doing? Oh boy, I tell you, I just don't know what I'm going to do with these damn lights. I hope, okay, I think it's good now. Okay, we're going to wrap up the series today. Today is Saturday, August 5th, and I want to start on Sunday doing the new series, which is on men. Okay, so I'm gonna do, to put these oil-based makeup, just with the lights makes you shiny. Um, I want to finish the Aquarian Woman, and then do Miss Sagittarius, and that finishes all of the women series. Now I am gonna do the series of the women of the sign all over again, but in Spanish. So if you speak Spanish, I'm going to have another YouTube channel where I do the same thing, but in Spanish. And I'll be doing that and the English male version at the same time. It's a lot of work. Papa is doing a lot of work for y'all. But you're my subscribers, and this is what you want. So I'm going to give you what you want, because that way, you keep Papa happy. And I'm gonna talk about how you can make me happy, and then in another video. But I'm gonna make you happy, and I'm gonna give you what you want and what you need. And I think it is important. So we're gonna jump right in, and we're gonna talk about part 2 of the Aquarian Woman. Now, the Aquarian, I had mentioned, just a little recap, that the Aquarian Woman is a woman that is rather complex. She's rather complex, and she is someone that functions in a different brain wave and marches to the beat of a different drum, right? We talked about the planet Uranus. Go to my first video where I go into detail about what she is like, which is unlike anything else that we've seen or no, even experienced. She really does come from the ethers. And she comes with her own special requirements. And a lot of it has nothing to do with any carnal nature or carnal desire, but more of a fusion of mind, body, and soul. This woman represents the alignment of these three bodies. So this woman is not going to be all about sex and sensuality like earth and water. And this woman is not going to be just about excitable, inspirational energy for its own sake, like the fire signs. No, this is fixed air, which is air that is constant, air that doesn't change. And we can bring that to a higher level to mean the airs of space, the airs of the ethers of space is fixed. Because without that, that will not have served as the scaffolding of the observable universe as we know it today. So there had to be a fixed permanence of this primordial ethers in which everything in the universe exists. It's past anything that we've ever known, or smell, or see, or taste, or touch. It's not carbon matter. It's something else, something above it, something that even scientists don't know but suspect exists, like the ethers. It's a rare substance. Well, Aquarius represents that rare substance, because without that, carbon matter could not come from it, and then everything else that builds our universe. So understand that the psychology and nature of the Aquarian woman is very unique and very different, and really, literally, it's not of this earth. So can you imagine you trying to develop a relationship with a woman of that cosmic substance, of that cosmic significance? And space is cold, right? Space is cold. So that also is a perfect analogy of the coldness of Miss Aquarius's countenance and even approachability. Understand that that's not something that she's doing on purpose. It's not something that she can even help. It just is. So understand that this woman is going to really have a hard time really connecting with people, because she's so different from the rest of us. She's the same according to flesh and blood, and the dictate that society will impose on all of us, not just her, but on all of us. So in that sense, she's a part of us, but we are not a part of her. She has decided to step down into the from the ethers and become carnal, and then has the ability to go back up there at will. Psychologically, it's the same situation where she feels a step above and a step detached from all of humanity, but at the same time embraces it. To her, the love of being human is the love of embracing all of humanity and not giving your attention, mind, and heart just to one individual. This is really the crust, the heart of the matter with Miss Aquarius. She belongs to everyone, yet belongs to no one. Her love is genuine, don't get me wrong, real tender, but vaguely elusive. Like trying to catch a fish in the water. It slips from your fingers, it slips from your finger. Or like you're listening to your favorite music, right? And all of a sudden, you develop static and it starts to break. We've all been there when we're listening to this tune and we're loving it, and all of a sudden, it's either because we're losing signal, it breaks apart, and then you feel frustrated because now, you want to continue, but it just stops and jerks, and sometimes it shuts off altogether. And you're like, damn, that was kind of a nice little taste, but damn, and then you try to mess with the computer or the phone to capture that again, but the phone, they broke the spell. Well, the same thing you could say of the Aquarian woman. You are falling in love with her, but all of a sudden something stops it. She herself also may stop it. She herself may stop herself or may stop you. It's not constant. They say tug and pull, and it's really coming from her, but she'll make you think that it's you and convince herself that it's really you, and therefore kind of like natural selection selects people off. You know, um, there's a bigger fear behind that kind of behavior, and we're going to talk about it in a little while. Okay, her insistence though on being independent also goes into the love department as well. Okay, she places many limits on her expression of love. And if you love her, you must accept her limits. These limits will, in no doubt, be emotional. And I talked about that in the last one. These limits that she will put on you concerning emotional closeness has a basis reason behind it. Okay? Now, she is the type of woman, fixed air. She will keep your emotions at distance, at distance. And at the same time, she'll be dissecting them. Let's say you come to her and you're going through emotional stuff. She's not going to cry with you. She's not going to jump there and be empathic with you concerning emotion. You know what you will feel from her? Coldness. But it's not a cruel coldness. And it's not a coldness where you withdraw from the situation. No, this coldness that the Aquarian woman put forth is her mind jumping into action. And now she is playing the surgeon and she's dissecting the emotions, trying to find the illogicalness of it and at the same time the root cause of it. You are lost. You're crying and you're a mess. And she ain't even looking at that. She's not even looking at you. She's looking at your mind and trying to find out where the flaw is, which is making you so emotional. And she's very good at doing that. She can put off a lot of people, even though she don't mean to, because of her impersonalness. But understand that she does the same thing to herself. Unlike Miss Gemini, mutable air, Miss Gemini knows that she is emotional. She's a highly emotional woman. And she does processes her emotions, never in front of you, but she does. But at least she acknowledges them. And then she heals and deals with the emotions in her own way. But the problem with Miss Gemini is that she don't want to deal with your emotions. Like Miss Aquarius, she will also analyze it and dissect it, but be a little bit more empathic, but from a distance, also like Miss Aquarius. And she will, like Miss Aquarius, act like it's not there the following day, or even if they talk to you again, it's like a clean page. They don't really acknowledge what you're going through or have been going through on an emotional level. They really don't care about it. But the Aquarian woman is different. Her method is a little bit more crueler because she looks at you as an object, like in a petri dish in a biology lab, and she will dissect the emotions at a safe distance where it doesn't affect her. But then at the same time, failing to really try to understand where that emotional pain is coming from. She wants to tie it to something logical and intellectual. And she'll never do that. She'll end up frustrating the very people that are coming for her counsel. Okay? She denies her own emotions. But unlike Miss Gemini acknowledges that they're there. Miss Aquarius will not acknowledge and go into denial, into believing that these emotions are not there. So she's blocking her own emotions from herself and blocking your emotions. And then in the middle is cold, cool air of logic. And that creates a vacuum of vortices, which gives off a cold chill. And this is why this woman doesn't seem to connect well in the love department. Because in the love department, let's face it, a woman, if she's going to be vulnerable, she's going to have to be vulnerable in sex, right? Otherwise, she won't be able to orgasm. She won't be able to multi-orgasm and squirt and shit on herself and piss on herself, and it's a really good multiple waves of orgasms. Can you imagine the Aquarian woman letting loose like that? Where your toenails curl? Miss Pisces, yes. Miss Cancer, yes. Miss Virgo, yes. Miss Leo, yes. But Miss Aquarius? Gemini? Too cold, too cool. They want to maintain that control. And that generates a vibration of repulsion. So the men that get close to these women, when they can't connect with her emotionally and they feel that sense of awkwardness, they push away. And the Aquarian woman is more than happy to be a participatory agent in creating that. Very easy for her to turn off a guy that she don't want to deal with. But then the problem becomes when she does want to become involved and does want to give of herself to somebody. She has had such a solidifying, calcifying habit of playing this on and off switch and keeping people at bay emotionally that after a while, the body adapts to it. We have adaptive mechanisms, and then we adapt to the behaviors. And then they become difficult to break. And then emotional closeness, emotional intimacy becomes almost impossible. At best, awkward. Awkward. And that doesn't help her case. She won't be too interested in your money. She'd rather that you be respected for your intellectual achievements or potential Now that depends too. If you got Capricorn rising or Cancer rising or Taurus rising, bitch better have my money. Bitch better have my money. That's exactly what she'll tell you. She ain't gonna have you be loading around if you're not about the coins. Thank you, Rihanna. So I'm telling you, that's what it's at. But for the most part, she's really not that selfish like that. Okay. Now, if you're not true to yourself, no, there's an Aquarian woman. She lives in her mind, and she's like a petri dish. Not no better. She's like an electron microscope. And to be in love with this type of woman, you're going to have to be willing to be that petri dish that she can microscopically look at and look at everything about you. And then decide from a safe distance that you are to be entertained by her. I'm telling you, she has a lot of requirements. Most of them intellectual. No nonsense or even room for any kind of emotional sensitivity or empathy. And she has a difficult time dealing with it. She really, really does. If you are not true to yourself, I'm telling you, she's gonna leave you. She's gonna leave you. She's gonna leave you. Her code of ethics may be as weird and as unconventional as they come. Her ethics have nothing to do with the status quo and the mainstream of society. I'm telling you, she comes from space. That's why I made that reference point of Uranus in the first one. She's too far out there. So if you're going to be with this woman, you're going to have to march to the beat of a drum, because she will most certainly not beat or even prance at the beat of yours. Understand that. As a man, if you're a man watching this video, you have to sacrifice a lot. And if you have not picked up a book lately, like Miss Libra, where you're gonna need to have had several books under your belt, then this is not the type of woman that is gonna want to be bothered with you. In fact, it's rude to try to hit on this girl when you got nothing to offer up here. No, fuck everything else. No, she can get her groove on without having to commit, and that's the best thing she likes. I'm telling you, she's not the most passionate girl in the world. She's not passionately demonstrative. No, it doesn't mean that she's not freaky, but she's not passionately demonstrative, and that can serve as a problem for guys. She'll consider your ethics highly ego-driven and will treat you accordingly. So if you don't have something of a universal in you, of a universal consciousness about you, and you're still functioning from an individual ego-based nature, she'll treat you like an inferior. Passionate sex, she can take it or leave it. She can take it or leave it. She can be platonic, bland. She won't push for an A+ performance in the bedroom. No, it depends. If she got Pisces rising, then hey, she has an unconscious fear that if she loves one person, it will lock her into an emotional prison in which it will limit her freedom. This woman is all about the damn freedom. But what exactly is the freedom? Let's talk about it. This woman wants to be able to be kinky, freaky, have sex with married men, have sex with men who are bisexual, explore, use dildos, use balls. This woman would love to have sex with all kinds of different men from all kinds of different countries. This woman is cosmic and universal, and so is her sexuality. And her need for sex is not the mercenary position. With this woman, you're gonna have to dress up, or play some role game or some S&Ms. All those things are under the Aquarian woman, along with Pisces, which are the two last signs of the zodiac. So you have to really, really ring her bell in a way that no other man has even thought of doing it. Because like Miss Gemini, sex mentally is where it's at. It has to start in the mind. Otherwise, the woman has nothing to do with you. Wants nothing to do with you. And ladies and gentlemen, we finished with the Aquarian Woman.